The National Pensions Act 266 of 2008 was passed into law in 2010 to reform the sector and inject private sector participation into the process. The reform saw the introduction of the second and third tier component managed by private fund entities. Tier 3 is a voluntary contributory scheme for workers in both the private and public sector who want to make voluntary contributions to enhance their pension benefits.
Tier 1 and 2 are mandatory, which every worker in the formal sector will have to contribute. Workers in the informal sector, so here we're referring to dressmakers, we're referring to blacksmiths, carpenters, welders, beauticians, and many other self-employed workers, also being able to provide for their pensions. And again, they can also provide a total of 35% of their income every month towards pensions. It allowed them to do so under two schemes. The first one we call the savings account, and then the second one is the retirement scheme.
6 years after its introduction, market watchers are of the view that not only has it benefited the pensioner, but also placed funds in the hands of private commercial banks to invest in long-term projects. The managing director of First Bank Financial Services, a leading fund manager in the country, Samuel Esiedu, talks about other benefits the reform has brought to the private sector.
There is an investment guide issued by the regulator, which guides all investments being by private pension fund managers. And as I mentioned, some can go as much as 75% into banks, GOG, treasury bills, also up to 35%. Again, corporate bonds can also take up to 30%. Now, all these are sectors that can enjoy significantly, and they are well defined. Whereas if we compare to before the reforms, decisions of investment were solely at the discretion of, Senate, which was the monopoly service provider at the time. So there are more money that are available to be accessed and to be channeled into other sectors of the economy.
He is of the view that contributions to the two tiers will jump this year if much effort is put into awareness creation to bring on board workers in the informal sector.